Alright, I gotta try to keep this under 14 minutes, man. And it's gonna roll slow and it's gonna roll quick. And I might have to jump over some things and fill things in as I go on. But in a nutshell, okay, so for the past couple days, I've been dropping a bunch of knowledge and about a bunch of information of what's going on, how it affects the pride, how it affects my immediate pride, and so on and so forth, and what people need to go on. So now people back on the cool checking about what's what, where do I belong, how do I fit in, how is this true, how could this happen, and all that stuff. First of all, don't worry about how it happened. Don't too much worry about why it happened. Just understand how things is rolling. You see this right here? You see these? This is my heritage. These are my tools that I used to do what I needed to do. Right? Laptop. What's that? Okay. This is me as a child. Pay attention to something. See that? And see that. See that? And see that. Okay, you show me motherfuckers that got baby pictures like this, and you know we came from the same place. Under the old motto, what I strive for is what I live for. You know, I wanted to be a videographer, and from videography, I wanted to get into making movies. That dream came true. So they always say, be careful what you ask for, and all that old good stuff. All right, that's that. What I strive for is what I live for. Now, where y'all belong, how is this possible, and what's what, and where do I fit in? First, you got to understand some things about characteristics and traits. Let's not get into the whole DNA sequencing and sequencing the whole genome of human evolution all the way down to the apes and the early man and Neanderthal and the Darwinian. Let's talk about characteristics, and then let's talk about the obvious. When a child is born with certain traits of your parents. In those traits, you could pick up different traits from uncles and aunties and cousins that came before you. Why? Because you dealing with the same bloodline. So what happened is when your mom and daddy get together, they have their already they DNA sequenced already. So when they have you have traits of both parents, and then you develop your own. So it's three things going on. I always said this a long time ago. It takes two to make one person. It takes two things. You got to have two arms, two eyes, two legs, two ribs, sets of ribs, just to make one thing. Now, a while back ago, a scientist in Europe, he made a discovery by the time, I guess Einstein and all this was kicking off. What he did was he made a discovery about the consciousness, basically splitting atoms, quirks, and all this. Around them were atoms, quirks, quagmires, and all this different thing. The contraption that he set up and what he found and what he was able to observe. And it took a long time for people to believe this and understand it, but nobody believed him. And he got into some hell about it and this, that, and such and such. But nonetheless, this is what he did and found out. The machine that he developed, it allowed him to watch atoms. So you got the big CERN kaleidoscope in Europe, and what it does, it tries to reenact the Big Bang. And what is the thing that happened at the Big Bang by crashing atoms? What he did, he was able to see an atom split with this contraption he made, but he couldn't observe
Couldn't
it
be seen
or
with the
explain
naked
it
eye.
when we see it now.
The naked eye.
But look, and look into this contraption he made, and the goddamn two things, one would go one way and one go the other way. Use your brain. If you are made up of particles of atoms and all that, what do you think that is? It should be a conscious. It should be your conscious being. Okay, it should be your conscious being. It should be a part of your spirit, that which you can't see. That's what it should be. But nobody came out of record and said anything like that until I did. Until I came across it and I made that. That's your conscience. How he did it, I don't know. I forgot the contraption. Google it. Anyway, he set it up and the damn thing split, and one went one way and one went the other, and then it got back on the other side and it joined back together. You can't see it with the naked eye. The contraption he made that possible. All right, there you go. That's proof. That's fine. My shit is backed up by science. Now here we go with folks and these kids, and my kids is this, and who a kid is that, and where is this coming from, and how does all this go? First of all, you have to understand a couple things about the beginning of time. So if you coming to me, that means you know a little bit about your book, but you ready to put that book down and you just ready to listen to some common sense, like my grandmother used to tell me. The human race is running off of a bloodline that's red. Mammals, animals, red. Insects got green blood. All their guts and all that shit is green. Within that bloodline, if you trace it all the way back, which that human genome sequencing thing it's along those lines, you will see motherfuckers have an origin. Now, the problem that we into today, which that the folks tried to do back in the day, was say, don't mix the races, meaning don't mix the blood. But they did it anyway. That's why we in the problem, in the situation we are today. That's why people look the way they look today. You got traits and characteristics over here. Your uncle look like that motherfucker over there. He come from over here. I come from this city. I can't be from nowhere else because my mama come from the South and we was told granddaddy was a slave and all this old stuff. That's why shit is messed up right now. So when I make comments about something, about who and what somebody or something really is, to the person that don't know this type of thing, it's confusing. Because everybody was under the impression they this, that, and the such and such. Well, there's some truths to that, and it is not some truths to it. Okay? Without me going into grave detail. Like I said before, they came out with this movie called 6 Degrees of Separation. After I got through unbundling this damn universe, I didn't have to know no more what 6 degrees of separation meant. What I know is from my research on a degree of separation and what a doppelganger is. A doppelganger and somebody in this realm, in this dimension, is your twin. A doppelganger, the way they are talking about it, is somebody that is dwelling in another dimension other than what you are. If it is somebody who look like you on this planet, you are related to that motherfucker. The closer you are that you look like them, the more it is closer to be your brother, mother, father, or daughter. I'm gonna throw this at you. Women are having their own daughters. Motherfuckers ain't nothing but surrogates. Not chew on that and go run this back, because I'm going to have to break this up because it's going to get good. Now, the 6 degree of separation, and you start talking about this my third cousin twice removed, now throw that shit out of the window. throw that shit out of the goddamn window. Nigga, if you bump into somebody that look like you and he got characteristic, that is your blood. It's just that simple. Get rid of the scales. Get rid of the timelines. Get rid of the formation. That is your blood. You related to that motherfucker. And most likely, if you not and the DNA don't come back, it is a clone. One of you two are cloned. Now, cloning can go 2, 3, 4 different ways. It can go a duplicate, a replica, or the real deal, brother and sister, boom, 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 in the twin. It go all kind of ways. That's why that boy caught slack when they thought they cloned his ass. But see, people didn't understand the full depth of what it means to clone somebody. All right? Let me end it right here and pick back up.